Hey, read through the word. Today is June 10th, and the name of the lesson, the only thing I could come up with is Chaos Ensues. So that's where we're going with the lesson, but I know you had a quick word from Wendy, and I just wanted to add on at the beginning of my lesson that I greatly, tremendously, all the adverbs enjoyed the Determined Conference, and it was so good to meet so many of you, and for you to see that how much of the nerdiness I do hold on in here, because y'all pretty much got the full-on nerdy, and so and you stuck with me, so it was a great time, and Lord willing, if we have one next year, I hope to meet more of you, and it was just a great time, so thank you for joining us for that, and let's get on with our lesson. Okay. So, today is the point where I'm going to do a little bit of catch up, and then we're going to talk about a few things about how to go forward in our readings, and then talk some more and make some nice little charts in our heads, or you can put them out on paper if you want to. That'd be great. So, here we are. We are in 1 Kings, and let's do a little recap. On yesterday's episode, you finished talking about King Asa, and King Asa had removed the idols from Judah. It said that at the end of in 2nd Chronicles talked about in 15. It talked about that King Asa had removed all the idols from the land of Judah and Benjamin, and that Asa had repaired. It says he repaired the altar of the Lord. So we were like, yay, Asa's doing all of these great things. And so it just talked about, at the end of our readings yesterday, it said, although the pagan shrines were not removed from Israel, Asa's heart remained completely faithful throughout his life. He brought into the temple of God the silver and the gold and the various items that he and his father had dedicated. So there was no more war until the 35th year of Asa's reign. And we're like, woo! Yay! This is going to go well for these people. So to them, we pick up with today's reading. So meanwhile, here we go. So let's set this up. There are, we've talked about this before, and I remember talking about it last year with you, and it's been in the reading. So we have the split of the nation, and you're like, Lisa, you say this every day. Yes, I do, because we're trying to get this in our heads. Because this will make the Old Testament, the rest of the Old Testament makes so much sense to us. So if we split into the northern kingdom of Israel and the southern kingdom of Judah. And so as they've split, now King Asa is the king of Judah. Meanwhile, in the northern kingdom of Israel is King Baasha. Okay, so Baasha is fortifying cities, and he's trying to go in, and King Asa down here is worried that Baasha is going to invade. So that's where our reading picks up today. And so now there's war between Israel and Judah and Asa. Asa decides that I need to, so right now, King Baasha had made a treaty with the king of Aram. And so Asa says, if I pay you off, will you be on my side? So Asa empties the treasury of the temple of the Lord. He takes all the gold and silver out and sends it over to the king to basically blackmail the king into, or is that bribe? It's a bribe, not a blackmail, it's a bribe. Bribe him into coming on his side so that he can avoid being taken over by the other kingdom. So, and from this point, it's pure chaos. And it's going to feel like that in your reading. Because what you're going to see is, it was all of a sudden, there's the war between Baasha and Asa. So you've got war in here. And then Asa's trying to buy off another king to help out. And it continues, and it says, in the 36th year of Asa's reign, King Baasha of Israel invaded Judah and fortified Ramah. So he's trying to make a fortified city to give him a base for war to defeat the other nation. And so you've got an account of war that continues right here. And then you have, all of a sudden, it's like, what? So it looks chaotic. Yes, it does. It does. Okay, so right here, chaos ensues. So you're going to have the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. And the northern kingdom is going to exist for a shorter time period than the southern kingdom will. And we will talk about that in more of our reading. But here's what so some of y'all remember this. And if you don't, here's where last year I told you to get 2 colored pencils or colored gel markers or whatever it is you use to mark in your Bible. And I highly suggest you mark 2. I'm going to add on to that this year until you get a 4. Because, all right, I'm going to show you this. Over the next few hundred years of their history, Israel will have 19 kings throughout her history. And all of them will be bad kings. There's no good kings. The scriptures tell us that they walked in the ways of Jeroboam, which was their first king. So that's how it tells us that they weren't really good guys. And then in Judah will have 20 different kings, and you'll have 8 good kings. Now I want you to hold on to that. You'll have 8 good kings. Scripture tells us that they walked in the, they had heart like their father David. Following in the ways of David, or followed after the way of David. That's how they mean they're good kings. So that's what you're looking for. So I would, so you'll see back and forth, especially in the Kings books. In the Chronicles books are just about Judah. They're not about Israel. And so you're not as much confusion there. But in the book of Kings, they'll flop back and forth. And so I would pick one color for the kings of Israel and another for the kings of Judah. Now, getting a clear picture on Judah and Israel is important, because I think so many times we use them interchangeably and think everything's Israel. It is going to help you a lot to keep them straight here. Okay, so I did this last year. I took a picture of it. I'm about to show you. And Lyndall, if it's this backwards, sorry. All right, do you see this? Now, all of a sudden, you'll see another color. But mine, that's not a greatest page to show you. It's green and blue. Let me go back. Okay. Oh, here's a good one. All right. Do you see that? Green and blue, green and blue, green and blue. And then you saw on another page, all of a sudden, I had pink show up. And then I think here it is. Like a pink and a yellow. And then don't even ask me about the other colors yet. Okay. I just did that in my reading. So what I'm going to tell you, because last year, I've already marked off my kings. Good. We're going to add 2 other colors. Because you see, I would tell you to mark Elijah and Elisha in different colors, because everybody gets those confused. And to help you as you go through the story, because you will see a clear thing starting to happen as you mark kings, as you mark prophets. These things starting to happen. So mark that to help you with your reading. But back to what's going on as chaos ensues. So if you look in your readings in 1 Kings 16, all of a sudden, I want you to notice this thing in Israel. You go from, there's Zimri, who's the king, but his reign only lasts 7 days because he sets fire to a place and burns himself up in it. Yes, I know. And then all of these other, so if you go through the kings of Israel, especially in here, you will see as you chart out. Now, some of you want to know how to do a timeline, how to do a chart. I'm basic. I'm you're going to confuse yourself. Write out, I would right now take you a piece of paper. This is the easiest way to do it. Take you a piece of paper, split it down the middle. Now, somebody already posted a picture of something like this, but I'm one of those who believes in writing it in your own hand helps you remember more than looking at somebody else's work. It's the teacher in me. Write it in your own hand. So write it down and don't copy somebody else's work. Don't copy another chart. I see you. No, write it down so you can see. Because what you will see is what I would do is go through as you're reading and mark green and blue, green and blue, green and blue. And then go back and label one of them Israel and one of them Judah. Then I would start as you're reading and write down the king's names. And now that you've got them, green, blue, you know which side to put them on. I would also write down the length of their reign and how they came to power. Because you will see a clear thing starting to hop out at you. And I don't know if we want to talk about it right now. If I want to let you learn it on your own. Yeah, okay, I'm going to let you. Go, okay, make your chart. Now, some of you, you're like, I don't have time for charts, Lisa. That's fine. Keep on reading. Some of you want some more of this. And so here I am giving it to you. Make your chart. Pay close attention to the length of reign. Pay close attention of how a king comes to power. Because you're going to start noticing something really quickly. And so, yeah, pay attention to that. Because that's really important. Now, so here was the things I wanted to make sure we were doing. We were pay attention in your reading. Pay attention in today's reading specifically is all of a sudden Israel has a capital city named Samaria that is taken. The king makes it the capital. Omri makes it the capital of Israel. So mark the kings in colors in your reading is very helpful for you. Look closely at what you see happen as you chart this out, because you'll start to see there's more chaos in one country than the other. Why would that be? Why would that be? And then all of a sudden notice because it has been that you would just see a prophet show up here and there. Now you're going to see a prophet in the land specifically for a message. So you need to start to watch for that to come, which is why I'm telling you about Elijah and Elisha, because those will be the first to come up and their message and what's going on. And we'll talk a lot more about Elijah tomorrow. But those are what I want you to do as we look through this, because this may look like chaos. This may look like, there is just no rhyme or reason or order to anything. But hold on, because God is still in charge. We'll see you next time on Read Through the Word.